Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Your Daily Dose, where we talk about something to do with Minecraft every day. And today we are going to look at bubble elevators, and we will be looking at the differences between bedrock and Java as well. So let's get to it. We are going to start with bedrock. So with your bubble elevator, most of the time they're built underground, but sometimes you will want to build it above ground or to go up somewhere super high, and you might not want to use solid blocks for the front of the elevator. So these are some of the things that you can use on bedrock, and it's exactly the same for Java. So you can use glass panes, chains, lightning rod, dripstone, working stations, and iron bars. And you also need to have an entry and exit point and have something that stops the water coming out. On bedrock, you can use buttons, trapdoors, and ladders. And ladders only go on solid blocks in bedrock. So sometimes your water elevator won't work properly, so you have to make sure that your water sources are like whole blocks, if that makes sense. And one way to fix it, so if you put a magnet cube or some soul sand and it's not working, the bubbles aren't going up, what you can do is you can plant some kelp and bone meal it, or just wait for it to grow, and that will fix your water source to make sure it's consistent all the way through, and then your bubble elevator will work. And then when it's growing to the top of the bubble elevator, you just break it and then replace it with the soul sand or the magnet cube. Or there is a much easier, quicker way to do it that guarantees you will not have any water source problems at all. And that is using ice as your water. So you can put the blocks in at the beginning if you want, but just be aware that you could take a bit of damage. So you crouch as you walk in if you're doing it this way, so you don't take damage. And then you jump and place a water block underneath you, and just tower up like this, and the water, these will be full water sources. And then just break it with a pick. Make sure you don't use one with silk touch on it, otherwise you're going to have to do it all again. And see, it works. Well, check it coming down. Then you do the same for the soul sand, but you don't have to worry about crouching because soul sand won't hurt you. Tower up and break it. And you can break it from the bottom going up or from the top going down. It doesn't really matter, but this will give you full water sources every time without fail, and it will work perfectly every time. And it saves you having to mess around with buckets of water and the kelp and all that stuff. Now, another thing you probably would have noticed here is that we've got like lots of these kind of blocks. And you might think that an end rod might work for a water elevator to keep the water in, but it doesn't. And it doesn't work on Java either. And the difference between bedrock and Java with the end rod is bedrock, the end rod will stay there, but Java, the end rod will get washed away. Right. And then we talked about what to keep the water in: buttons, trapdoors, or ladders on full blocks. Ladders don't go on glass in bedrock to keep the water in, because if we don't have these, water will go everywhere. So that will be your entry and your exit. You don't have to use soul sand or magnet cubes. You can just swim up and down if it's not too high, but they're a lot more efficient and a lot faster. And you can also just have pretend here is the going down. You could just do that as well for going down. So you could have the soul sand to take you up, and you could just have a block of water in it to go down. And like that. And you can just land in that block of water and you won't take any damage by doing that. You don't have to worry about the magnet cube if you don't want to. But I actually like the look of having them side by side, one going up, one going down, and they're a lot faster. So if you do have a really tall water elevator, it's definitely worth going the magnet cube on the soul sand. But if it's a short one, you could just have a regular water stream and a water drop like this here. So let's switch over to Java to look at the differences between Bedrock and Java. There's not many, but it's worth noting. I will see you over in Java. Alright, here we are over in our Java world, and I'm just going to quickly show you a couple of little differences with bubble elevators between Bedrock and Java. The ice trick works the same, and we can use the same kind of blocks. We can also use fence posts and walls on Bedrock. We can use ladders on glass and trapdoors in Java, and this is one of the differences. So on Bedrock we can use buttons, but on Java we can't. They wash away. So that's the main difference between Java and Bedrock, is that you just can't use the buttons. And that's the end of another episode of Your Daily Dose. I hope you've had fun learning about water elevators and my lazy way of doing the water, because if there's a quick and easy way to do something, I'll find it. And I will catch you all tomorrow on another episode. And if you have any tips or tricks for water elevators, or if you have any topics that you would like us to talk about, just pop them in the comments. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye!